Good morning, everybody, or should I say afternoon. What? This is the Triple Threat Show on WXJM 88.7 FM, Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. This is, as I said before, the Triple Threat Show, hosted by me, Jeremy, my two friends and co-hosts,
Shane,
and
Haden.
I'm excited for today's show. As always, I say... Well, you know what? Before we do this, how's your week so far, guys? What have you been up to the last week?
Shane, you can go first.
I am very tired this week. I just, it's like all my assignments are like piling up. Like they're all due this week.
Mm-hmm.
And then I have 2 hockey games this weekend. So I pretty much have to like get them all done, or at least a lot of it done, before I have to go on and play these games. So it's a lot of work, but I'm excited to finally play these last 2 games. It's going to be fun.
Awesome. Well, good luck at your game, Shane.
Yeah.
I know you're going to score at least 3 goals in each game, right?
Yeah. That or you're getting evicted.
At least.
Oh.
If you don't do that, you're evicted, Shane.
Well, maybe if you come to the game,
I will be there.
Maybe try a little harder.
Okay, I'll be there. Just for you.
Thank you.
Of course.
I'll score them all just for you.
In my name.
Just for Haden.
Yeah.
You're going to point to him after every goal.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like jump into the glass.
Yeah. I'll catch you.
We don't know how strong that glass is.
Yeah.
Very true.
I'll rush the ice after every single goal.
Ooh. He's famously great at ice skating.
Oh, of course.
Extremely famous.
Best hockey player in the apartment.
Uh-huh. In the world, even, you might say.
Some might say the universe.
Of all time.
Yeah.
Anyway.
They call me the Great One.
How was your week, Haden, the Great One, Raymer?
Oh, it's been great. Just got back from a run. My legs are dying.
We love that.
So, now I'm going to talk about sports with my best pals.
This is going to be great.
For an hour and a half on WXJM.org.
And?
88.7 FM, Harrisonburg.
Wow, you nailed it.
Yeah.
Look at you go.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, without further ado, I say we hop right into the Jmu Sports Report, our segment where we do a little rundown of all the happenings of the JMU sports this week. Yeah?
Oh, yeah. What are we starting off with?
It's an excellent question. What sport do you think we should start off with, Shane?
Well, in the order of my notes, I have women's basketball first.
Oh, what an excellent decision. I say we start with them then. Well, they went 1-1 this last week, winning 65-53 versus Hofstra, and losing 50-62 versus Northeastern. In the week, the star player, junior Kiki Jefferson, joined the 1,000-point club, passing 1,000 career points on a win Friday versus Hofstra. Jefferson actually is only the 32nd Duke in history to ever accomplish that feat, so congratulations to her, and we hope she can continue to do great things as the season goes on.
Dang.
What'd you have for us, Shane?
Oh, it's just, I didn't think it happened that often. 1,000 points in I don't know anything about basketball, so I don't know. Like, what's like you get like, what, 20 points a game if you're good? 30?
That's a star player right there. 20, a good player will get you 15-ish
30,
a game.
Then you're
This
insane.
is not the NBA.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're getting 30 a game, you're like...
If you're getting 30 a game, you're one of the best scorers of all time.
All right.
Yeah.
I didn't realize getting 1,000, like... I'm like, geez, that's a rare... It sounds
tough.
like a rare... Yeah, it sounds like... But 32. I guess if it's been around for a while...
The basketball... This is not just women's. It's the 32nd Duke to do it.
Okay.
So, like, this is, this is a massive accomplishment.
Yeah,
for sure.
Especially at a school like JMU where there's not one and done. You're going to be playing longer, more seasons.
Yeah.
Right? You're not getting those Duke prospects where they're just coming to college as a formality so that they can get drafted the next year because of the rules and stuff. You're getting players that are coming and they're spending their entire collegiate career playing for the team, So, it's an impressive feat. She's only a junior. She's got at least one more year. I'm not sure if she's redshirted or not, so she might even have 2. So, it's super exciting.
In other news, less exciting news for women's basketball, the loss against Hofstra, am I correct?
They lost to Northeastern.
The loss to Northeastern. They had a team low shooting percentage of
28%.
Yeah.
I was at that game.
Oof.
Yeah, it was. My family was in town. It was good to see them. We went to the game. But I mean, I was kind of hoping to get a little better offensive showing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just a bad shooting night. I'm not going to blame the team.
Yeah, everyone has their bad nights.
You know, you're just not going to win a game shooting 28%.
Oh yeah.
And they know that. That's not something they need to. They need some random guy on a random radio station to be yelling at them for. You know, they know that.
Well, season worse.
It's not. It's hard to. It's that's like if you put me, you, and Haden out there.
Oh God, no!
We'd do worse.
If they want to make it go lower, if they want to see worse, they should put us on the team. We can definitely get that number lower. I could try as hard as I can. I won't get anywhere close to that.
Don't speak for me, guys. I mean, just you.
Okay.
Yeah.
They did a little halftime show. They did musical chairs.
Yeah.
But you had to go shoot a basket, so. They were kids. They went and shot baskets. One chair left. They went to either end of the court. Made at the same time. We're both sprinting for the chair. A kid got bodied. Kid was down. It wasn't intentional. They were both sprinting and they went they checked each other. Kid went flying. Very unfortunate.
Must have been funny to see.
Neither of them won.
There was no winner.
It was the second to last round. The other kid won. I thought I should mention that.
Yeah, very relevant. What are we moving on to next, Jeremy?
I say we continue the basketball theme.
All right.
Head over to the men's basketball, who's been in a bit of a slump lately. They went 0-2 last week. They lost 82-88 to Drexel, and 69-85 versus Delaware. Some bad news. To call Molson, the hero in the win against Virginia, he is out for the season after suffering a knee injury. Molson is a grad student who's having a really good season as the second option behind Vado Morse. He has 13.9 points per game, 5.1 rebounds per game, and leading the teams in assists per game with 2.1. Sucks to see someone like that go down. Hopefully they can bounce back, and we wish him the best in his recovery. All right, Haden.
All right.
You want to pick the next sport?
I mean, I can.
Could you?
I mean, there's that swim and dive, is there not?
All right. Our resident swim and dive expert over here, Haden Raymer. What an excellent decision.
Thank you.
They lost their game over the last week, 139 to 158 versus Richmond. That was on Friday. Despite the loss, Abby White won the 3-meter dive with a score of 284.04 and is the third Duke diver this season to qualify for the NCAA Zone Championships. Along with that, swimmer Abby McGuire got her first career win with a time of 10 minutes 33 seconds, 12 milliseconds in the 1,000 meter free.
It's pretty good.
So, despite the loss, we had some standouts. There were others that I didn't mention. I just picked the few that I thought were up there. Is there any specific reason you chose swim and dive, our swim and dive resident expert, Haden?
Well, no, it's just you guys call me the swim and dive expert. I
You
felt
are
like it
the
was
swim and
kind of
dive
fitting
expert.
that I said swim and dive. It'd be.
When you say you guys, it strictly just means Jeremy.
No, you say it too.
But you are the expert. I'm not making anything up.
Yeah.
You're the one I turn to when I need to know my swim and dive news.
Yeah. You just look right at me
Yeah.
while we're sitting on the couch.
All right.
Anything new?
Yeah. Is there anything new?
No, I think you got it all.
Yeah, I think I got it all.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Of course.
I
anytime.
love having the validation from a swim and dive expert like yourself.
I mean, what can I say? Anytime.
All right, Shane.
Yeah.
What's the next sport we're going to cover here?
Let's do track.
Track. That's an excellent decision. They went to the VMI winter relays. At the winter relays, Bethany Biggie won the pentathlon with a PR with her personal record of 3,409, which moved her actually to 5th all-time in JMU history. And they had someone finish in 2nd place, that put them at 9th place overall in JMU history. I mean, there was just lots of success over the weekend.
Biggie also won the high jump at a height of 5 feet 4.5 inches, and the shot put event, 31 feet 6 inches.
All right.
And, this name, I'm sorry if I mispronounce it. Bobshock finished first in the 60-meter hurdles, 9.32 seconds, and in the long jump with a length of 17 feet 10 inches.
All right. That's super impressive. Anything else you got that I missed?
So, track and field.
Yeah.
You got the running events too. Do you want to continue on with
No,
that?
go for it, yeah.
All right. So, Laura Webb finished second in the mile with her time of 5 minutes, 7 seconds.
All right.
And in the distance medley relay, again, sorry about mispronouncing the names, Sophia Terenziani, Ariana Eberly, Sinead Sargiant, and Miranda Stanhope earned second place in that competition with a time of 11 minutes, 53 seconds.
All right.
And that qualifies them for the ECAC competition.
All right. That's awesome. Moving on up. Get their qualifications.
Miranda Stanhope, again.
You had it.
Of course, she's going to be the anchor for that team, so.
Yeah. You had it, Haden.
I know. I'm so happy.
I heard it.
He heard it.
It's getting there, Haden. Just keep working on it.
He had it. He got the snap
One
in
day.
there.
One day.
Way to go.
That's when we have to get in the show.
I'm very
So
proud
when I
of
can
you.
finally snap.
I'm very proud of you.
Or we'll just have to, find a replacement.
Oh, for me.
Yeah.
Just kick me off the show, because that's, the only...
Because, then that's what else do we... Well, we still need the swim and dive expert, though.
Yeah, we need our swim and dive expert.
It's just we
I
would
just come in for the sports report, and then we just swap
Yeah.
out with the other person.
We just run out of a bit, so...
Yeah.
Bit? No, he is our swim and dive expert. Shane.
No, I'm talking about the snapping bit.
Yeah.
Ah.
That's the only
not
other
questioning-
thing of value that I provide.
Yeah.
Is not being able to
I
snap.
wasn't questioning the legitimacism of that. It's just the snapping bit.
Legitimacism.
That's
Legitimacy.
an SAT word.
I don't think that's a word.
It's
No, it's an
legitimacy.
SAT word.
It's
That's why you don't know it.
I'm sorry, Shane.
Sorry for what?
Everything.
Everything, yeah.
All right. You're forgiven.
It's an all,
Thank you. I appreciate
all-encompassing
it.
apology.
Yeah.
All right, what are we moving on to next?
Oh, excellent question. I say we do some tennis. Tennis is a really exciting sport.
It is.
In the men's tennis side, we had Holden Coons and Yusuf Sadiq named the CAA Doubles Team of the Week. So congratulations to them.
After they swept last week.
Yes. But on the women's side, they had 2 matchups. They unfortunately lost both of them at the ITA kickoff weekend. Lost 0-4 versus 9th-ranked Virginia, and then they lost 1-4 versus Arkansas. But it's not all bad news, you know. The women's team also swept last week, and they got some awards. Natalia Nicolopolo was named the CAA Player of the Week, and the tandem of Michelle Los Arcos and Daniela Volo were named the CAA Doubles Team of the Week. So congratulations to all of the tennis players that won these awards this week. Keep doing your thing. Let's see.
I know there's a bunch of preseason stuff, but because I know our lacrosse team has a lot of expectations.
Yeah,
They got ranked pretty highly.
Yeah, they got ranked 12th in the preseason rankings. So their season starts off pretty soon. They have a tough schedule, but I mean, they'll be fine. They open against number 2 in the country.
Oof.
So
Was 12 nationwide?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
okay. I wasn't
Yeah.
sure. I wasn't... Well, yeah.
yeah, no.
Where's hard?
12 nationwide.
Okay.
They're playing the number
That's
2
pretty good.
team to open the season, so that's going to be a really good game to watch.
Mm-hmm.
It's against North Carolina. I don't know if it's at home or if it's in North Carolina, but we got to go. We got to go see that. We'll check up next week. Yeah, because they start 17 days from now. And let's see. We got. Okay, Haden. You want to do football or baseball?
Still more football stuff?
There's one football thing.
All
Let's
right.
do the one football thing.
The Dukes signed two-time All-Conference USA team defensive lineman Jamare Edwards for his final year of eligibility, adding to a defense that lost a few key pieces last season, looking to rebuild, and will come back strong with pieces like this. Also kind of football, but more general news. The JMU and the Sun Belt Conference are going to hold a press conference tomorrow morning. I don't know what it's about, but the football team personnel are going to be there. So it's at 10 a.m. on Facebook Live. That's happening tomorrow.
I'm sure we'll have something to talk about that next week.
Absolutely, we will. And then last but not least, for the Jmu Sports Report, we have some baseball news. As we all know, we have an incredible prospect here, Chase DeLauder. He was named to not one, but two different preseason All-American teams on Perfect Game and Prospects Live.
Yep.
Their season... What's up, Haden?
Baseball America too, though, right?
I didn't see Baseball America.
I saw Baseball America.
So maybe he got named to 3.
For those listeners who don't know, he's a projected top 10 pick in the MLB draft, if I'm not mistaken.
Definitely top 10.
Yeah.
Maybe even top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see.
Probably top 5 if season goes as it's supposed to. Again, anything can happen in the season. He could get hurt. Hopefully that doesn't happen. He could just struggle, or he could just rake, you know?
Or he could just do really phenomenal and get his draft stock higher.
Yeah, Baseball America too.
Okay, 3 teams. So yeah, their season also starts soon. They start versus Florida State, which I think is ranked 18th. And that's not at home.
No.
But that's coming up soon. That is all I had for the Jmu Sports Report.
Yep.
Let's see.
Speaking of baseball, we should transition over to the MLB.
Want to do some baseball for us, Haden?
Of course. The big news that happened the night of our show, right after pretty much, was David Ortiz was the only person elected into the Baseball Hall of Fame for this year. That's kind of important because there were 3 other people who a lot of people were speculating if they were going to get in or not. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, and Curt Schilling, 2 of which are accused of using steroids, or used steroids pretty much, throughout their career. And then Curt Schilling, who's just a despicable person. None of those 3 got in. And it looks like... And that was their last year on the overall ballot.
Yeah. Which
means they're no longer able to be elected in by the general Baseball Writers of America population. But they do have a Veterans Committee type thing where it's 11-ish people then vote on who gets in or not. And their era is meeting later this year, so maybe they get in still this year in November. But...
Is that their last chance this year?
No, then they'll just be on the ballot every 4 years for the Veterans Committee. But a lot of people are kind of not so sure about that because...
We discussed earlier, sorry to interrupt, but Barry Bonds, he was not liked by his fellow teammates, from what I heard.
That and having steroids connected to you really rubs a lot of former players the wrong way. Joe Morgan, who's an incredible player, he and a bunch of other Hall of Fame people wrote a letter years ago to the Baseball Writers of America. We're like, hey, we don't want them in because they use steroids. And, and he votes a lot on those types of things. I know Ozzie Smith, great shortstop, also expressed back in 2011, was like, no, I don't want the steroid guys in the Hall of Fame. So it'll be really interesting to see if they get in with that. It's going to be a while, which would be a shame because we see a lot of players get left out in the Veterans Committee until after they pass, and I don't want to see that again. I want them to be honored in their lifetime, you know?
Yeah.
So.
But speaking of players being honored in their lifetime, Ortiz, though,
yeah.
Congratulations to him. He should have gone in. I would have been shocked if he didn't get in.
It was his first year on the ballot.
So. It would have been a complete disservice to his career if he didn't get in first ballot.
For sure. I mean, it's really interesting because he's a today's player because, everyone in baseball now uses WAR
Yeah.
And his WAR is really low because he was a DH, which means he has no defensive value at all. He has negative defensive value. And so to have a DH get in, someone with a really low WAR like him, it's really interesting. Kind of paves the way for more people from this era, this new era of baseball to get in. They still really aren't liking their relievers, though. Like, they let Joe Nathan, who's a Hall of Fame reliever, in my opinion, just fall off the ballot, like, because not enough people voted for him. He had less than 5% of the votes. It's really a disservice. Really rubs me the wrong way, but that's just me.
I mean, that's Baseball Hall of Fame for you. It's baseball writers for you.
They know nothing.
They know nothing. But you do.
I do. I know everything. I'm the arbiter of knowledge in baseball, clearly.
It's true.
That's why I have a radio show on WXJM.
Yeah. You're right. It is why you have that.
Yeah, totally.
Any updates on the CBA?
They met today.
Yep.
Actually, like, while during the sports report, I kept frantically checking my phone to see what news came out of that meeting, and everyone's saying
nothing. Little
progress has been made, which was a shame because last week we saw a lot of progress get made. The MLBPA, they dropped, if you remember, their like age-based free agency. They dropped the request to change that, which was something that MLB was like a hard no, like line in the sand. We're not doing that type thing. It wasn't even really a line. It was more like a brick wall in the sand. Just how much they did not want to move on that. And like the MLB, they passed on like their whole changing arbitration based off WAR, like model thing that was really weird and a lot of players didn't want, and they dropped that. So it's like, okay, we're making concessions, we're making progress. And then it looks like nothing really happened today. There was still like a lot of big things because like they want to do like a bonus pool for like pre-ARB eligible people who are making the league minimum salary guys, and they want to give a bonus pool to some of those players if they're the top 30 and more. And then the MLBPA were like, we want to give them $105 million, right? And then MLB was like, yeah, we'll do that, but we'll only give them $10 million, which is $95 million difference. It's a bit much.
Yeah.
Big
Gotta find a way to bridge that.
Yeah. So doesn't seem like spring training is going to happen on time. And if spring training isn't happening on time, then the season's probably not going to happen on time, which is really not what you want to see as a baseball fan or a sports fan in general.
Yeah.
But, yeah. And then the last thing I had was, I don't know if you remember, but earlier in this offseason, the MLB, they agreed upon housing minor leaguers, and they had like this whole system, but there wasn't a whole lot of details that came out. And now there was an article that came out in The Athletic where the minor league advocates for minor leaguers, they put out, like, they had 3 things that they did not like about it. And one of them was that there was a lack of accommodations for married people, or like people with kids.
Yeah.
They couldn't have like their own room. They still had to share a room with a player, which is like really weird.
Yeah.
And there wasn't like a whole lot of like, they want that in the thing where every team has to abide by that, instead of like, oh, if the team wants to be nice, they'll give that guy a room.
Yeah.
But if they don't want to, they don't have to. Also, there's a whole like, they can use hotels if it's not feasible to have like apartments or housing or something like that.
Yeah.
But there's no like guidelines on what feasible is, so it's like up to the team's interpretation.
Yeah.
And they didn't really like that. And the final complaint that they had was, if you're like, these apartments, these hotels, they're not great. Like, I'm better off just going to find someplace on my own.
Yeah.
They're not going to like reimburse the player for going to go find a place on his own. They're just like, oh, nope. Sorry.
Yeah.
You get nothing, and
Still
they want like a
lot of work that
stipend.
needs to be done in this.
Yeah, but I mean, you know the MLB, nothing's gonna happen, because most of the organizations are super greedy, and they're not just. Yeah.
We love the MLB.
Oh, it's so great. I love this sport so much.
You gotta love capitalism.
Absolutely.
Greatest ism.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
not the Great Schism.
What is that?
It's a religious thing.
It's like
it's
when
the Greek Orthodox Church separated from the Catholic Church, I believe.
Come on, Jeremy.
I'm sorry.
You should know all about Catholicism.
I'm sorry. I'll learn about it next time.
What was this in your church training? Oh, never mind.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Ugh.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Joe Nathan. Why did him fall off the
Yeah.
ballot? Not nice.
So sad.
So very sad.
Yeah.
Jeremy?
Yeah?
What are your thoughts on the CBA?
On the CBA,
Yeah. What do you want to see changed?
I just look. I need the players to win.
Mm-hmm.
I need the players to win one.
That's all you want?
That's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
I want them to win one. They're not going to,
Yeah, because they only really have like one chip
but I want them to win one.
to bargain with.
You know,
That's expanded
it'd be
playoffs.
nice to see. It's not going to happen. I don't expect it to happen. I want them to just play baseball this season. But
I'd rather have no baseball than have the owners win.
yeah, me too. But I mean, it's not good for either side to not have baseball.
Yeah.
So it's something that's necessary. But I need to see a group of players win a CBA negotiation at some point.
Any sport, really.
Yeah, any sport.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be. I'd love it if it was this one, but
No.
any sport. It's not gonna
It's
happen.
never going to happen.
It's
Yeah.
not. But I'd love to see it. That's what I want to see happen in the CBA.
Okay. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Of course. But yeah, that's all I have for baseball. Like I said, not a whole lot because, there's a lockout. So,
Well, I wanna try a new segment.
okay.
Yeah, something that I was thinking up yesterday, actually. So it's gonna be good, right? Segment I'd like to call favorite thing
Mhm.
this week. We're still working on the name, in progress. But the main gist of it is we're gonna go around. We're gonna talk about the favorite thing we saw, or our favorite thing we saw this week. Preferably in sports, but it doesn't have to be in sports. And we're just gonna have a nice little discussion about it.
Right.
So I'll throw the mic over to you.
All right,
Shane?
so my favorite thing that happened in sports this week, Henrik Lundqvist got his number retired this past week. One of the best goalies of this past decade. As a avid Caps fan, we saw him completely shut down the Caps in the playoffs on several occasions. Easily one of the best goalies of the 21st century, and probably a first ballot Hall of Famer. He only has one Vezina trophy, I think.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he only has one, but he really should have more. He carried that Rangers team to a Stanley Cup final. The problem is they just could never find an elite goal scorer to go with them. Kind of like Carey Price, like how he carried that team to the playoffs. But it was nice to see him get the recognition. Madison Square Garden loves that man. He's an icon in New York City.
I don't know how you don't love that man.
Yeah.
I mean,
And
the
he's
king
like
for a
so
reason.
stylish. Like he's always wearing a suit. I've never seen this man not wear a suit besides his goalie gear. And like just he has all the tux in the world.
Right, no, I've seen like pictures of him out in the street.
Yeah.
First of all, he's a very good-looking man.
Very attractive man.
Second of all, he's always wearing the suit.
Oh,
He's just
yeah.
like buying a hot dog from a random street vendor. He's in full
Yeah.
suit with a tie. He's got his dress shoes on. It's
Respect.
it's
Yeah,
great.
I heard this great story from Spit and Chicklets where so they were in Europe to play some exhibition games, and they were playing against this European team, and this European was sponsored by this clothing company, and they wanted the NHL players to come in with tracksuits. And Henrik Lundqvist was like, "Oh, I'm just not feeling it. I just don't feel comfortable. Like I need my suit." And then they played that day, and he didn't do well. He let up like 3-4 goals. And then the very next day, everyone got on the bus wearing the tracksuits, except Henrik Lundqvist. He was wearing his 3-piece suit. He's like, "No, I gotta wear this suit. I gotta feel comfortable. I gotta feel good." He proceeds to only let in 1 goal per game for the rest of the week. So, half of being a goalie is mental, and if those suits are, being comfortable, being in that comfortability and professionalism, gets you ready for stopping some pucks. Yeah, why not?
It's that look good, feel good, play good.
Oh yeah, that is definitely Henrik Lundqvist for
Live
you.
good, live good, live good.
And another exciting thing about that game, where his jersey number was retired.
Uh-huh.
He was facing the Minnesota Wild, one of my favorite team, and that's because his best friend, Matt Zuccarello, former New York Ranger, signed as a free agent to Minnesota a few years back. He wanted Matt Zuccarello to be there for it. And unfortunately, they lost that game. But during
Who lost that game?
The New York Rangers.
Okay.
Because you were talking about both teams.
Yeah. The New York Rangers unfortunately lost, but the game-winning goal was scored by Matt Zuccarello, his best friend. And during the broadcast, you can hear him, the announcers talking about, hey, isn't that your friend, Matt Zuccarello? He's like, yeah, he's a good friend of mine. Just don't let him score. Immediately after he says that, Matt Zuccarello shoots the puck and gets the team to lead 3-1. It's like, that really just happened. So it was a funny soundbite in hockey. It was a great event, my favorite thing of the week.
That's awesome. Yeah, he's the king for a reason.
The king.
Right.
Long live the king.
Right. Unfortunate he had to retire due to a heart condition, but
Best Caps goalie ever, undefeated.
yeah, he never lost a game for the Caps.
God, what could have been? I actually saw somebody at JMU with the Lundqvist Capitals jersey.
They made those?
Yeah, I saw it. Yeah, I saw them around, and then I saw a guy having them. Like, oh my god,
That's crazy. I didn't think they printed them because he was on the team for like 2 weeks.
He was on the roster.
For like 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It wasn't even preseason. They signed him, and then he was like, actually, I can't.
Could you imagine that team with having Lundqvist and Shara? That would have been so weird.
That'd be old.
And awesome.
And old. And very old.
Very true, but that would have been. I think Henrik Lundqvist still had a few years left in him if he didn't have that heart condition.
Yeah. I mean, you like to think so. Guy in the top. Like to think you go out on the top.
Yeah.
What?
What?
Okay. Anyway.
Hayden, what was your favorite thing of the week?
Well, speaking of attractive men,
Okay.
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Oh,
That's it.
Joe Burrow was your favorite thing this week?
Yeah.
Would you like to...
I don't think he needs to.
I don't think.
We'll get more into that later.
Okay. You sure? You sure you don't want to elaborate on Joe Burrow? Is it just Joe Burrow was your favorite part of the week?
Google him. You'll understand, I guess. I don't...
Yeah. We can talk more about it in the football section.
I mean, I don't know. He's just funny. Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of good interviews.
Extremely attractive.
That too.
Brought this franchise out of irrelevancy.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did. Good for them.
Looks good doing it too. Like,
Thank you, Hayden.
anytime. As soon as you pitched
He's
that, I
completely
knew.
supplanted Matt Stafford for you, I feel like. I feel like Joe Burrow's just completely stolen your heart away.
Oh no. No.
All right.
We have a Super Bowl matchup.
I know. It's gonna be rough, but I'll still root for Matt. I mean, either way, I'm winning. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
Especially when they meet after the game.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. They do their little handshakes at midfield.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden's hoping for more than a handshake.
I know.
I mean, isn't all of America?
No.
Oh, just me.
I don't believe so. I could be wrong.
If all of America means just Hayden Raymer, then yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess if that's what you mean, then yeah, I guess that's what they want.
What's your favorite moment of the week, Hayden?
My favorite moment of the week.
I mean, I can talk again.
My favorite moment of the week. Well, it was. I was gonna say the Bengals making the Super Bowl, but
Yeah.
I want to talk about something else now. Okay.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You had a favorite thing. I had a favorite thing. He had a favorite thing. This is why we do this,
Mhm.
right? My favorite thing of the week was the Trevor Zegras goal.
Oh.
Another one.
I'm so glad you did a hockey one.
That
was such a sick, beautiful goal.
That was his second insane stick trick of the season.
Yep.
This one was a goal this time. Did some crazy like anti-gravity puck stuff.
It's called the Michigan or the lacrosse goal.
Mm-hmm.
Because that trick was first done by a University of Michigan player. It's
Ah.
pretty much where you flip the puck where the flat side of the puck is like laying on top of the stick, and you just use it, lift it, and just put it in the top of the net.
Got it.
Yeah. No, it was some anti. He turned off gravity for half a second.
Oh yeah.
And it was beautiful to watch. I love seeing that type of stuff on the ice. I may not understand it as much as the man next to me does, but it's always fun
It
to
is
watch.
so hard to do that move. During a game full speed, it's just insane how much skill that kid has. Which is why I had him winning the Calder this year, just because, just seeing his stick handling ability.
Is he a rookie?
He's a rookie, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
NHL rookies are weird because you can play last season, but if you don't play a certain amount of games, you're still a rookie.
Well, it's like the MLB.
Yeah. Because he played like at least 7 games last season.
Well, that's not enough.
Yeah. So he's still eligible. But what I have an issue with is like Alex Nedeljkovic. He's a goalie for Detroit.
Yeah.
He was nominated for the Calder last year, Rookie of the Year. And he is still considered a rookie this season for whatever reason.
See, that's
dumb.
Not allowed.
That is so dumb. I don't know what rules it. Maybe goalies have a different rule, but that's so dumb to me.
I agree. That
Like,
is
how can you
super
be
dumb.
nominated for Rookie of the Year and the next season still be a rookie? It doesn't make sense.
Rules are crazy sometimes.
Yeah.
Rules are crazy sometimes. We don't understand them. That's why we make them. And we can fix them. Right, Haden?
What?
Yeah, exactly. Thank you for agreeing with me.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, since we're talking about hockey, do you want to move into hockey?
let's move
or-
on to some hockey.
All right. So, our most talked about player, Evander Kane.
Evander Kane.
We have more Evander Kane news.
Evander
Who
Kane.
would
Our
have
best
thought?
friend?
Oh, yeah.
Friend of the show?
Friend of the show.
Well, a new member on my fantasy team right now. He signed a 1-year, a roughly $2 million deal with the Edmonton Oilers. There was a lot of rumors about this.
Edmonton.
Yeah. Edmonton Oilers. Not Edmonton. Edmonton.
It's okay.
It's okay,
Yeah.
Shane.
You can't pronounce Edmonton. I can't snap. We all have our things.
Yeah. He scored a goal in his first game. And it's just everyone is waiting to see what's going to happen next. Like, will this deal work out?
What's going to happen next, Shane?
I think this is a good signing for Edmonton. They really needed some more depth scoring in the lineup. And there was a lot of teams who were interested in him, but I think he signed with the Oilers because he gets to play with the best player in the league, Connor McDavid. And I think this will really help add to scoring, and it'll be interesting to see if he can live up to his potential on this team. But if this doesn't work,
Well, I don't think anyone was
I can't
questioning.
imagine the locker room drama that would ensue.
See, I don't think anyone was questioning his ability on the ice.
Yeah.
I don't think that was ever in question, right? He was the guy on the Sharks.
Yeah.
The things that was being questioned was his off-ice ability.
Yeah.
Um,
It's like, will he get suspended again for something that comes up again? Will there be more antics? Will there be more legal issues that come out of nowhere?
It's very, very comparable to Antonio Brown's situation, where undeniable skill on the field, but you can't trust him farther than you can throw him off the ice, off the field. So it's a risk reward kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hopefully it works out. We love to see people succeed, always.
Yeah.
Always. We never want to see people fail.
It's
Right,
an
Hayden?
exciting storyline. Imagine if this team gets back into a playoff spot.
Were they out of it?
They're out of a playoff spot right now.
That's impossible. They have Connor McDavid.
Well, when you're the Oilers and you have like no one else scoring besides Draisaitl and McDavid, and you don't have a reliable goaltender.
Those are like two of the leading goal scorers in the entire
Yeah,
league.
they're like
Shane.
they're both of them are top 5 in points, and Draisaitl is top 3 in goals, and they just still can't get it done just because it's a team sport. If you don't have a team around, you're only as good as your worst player.
Well, you need a good goalie and a good goal scorer, and you
Yeah.
can make it to the playoffs. I can't
Unfortunately,
guarantee
they don't have the goalie part.
I
though.
can't guarantee any success in the playoffs
Yeah.
if you just have that.
How
But-
do you guys think this Evander Kane situation is going to turn out?
Hilariously,
Oh, it's going to be amazing.
it's gonna be so funny.
Just
That,
imagine if
or
this team
it's,
doesn't make
we
playoffs.
never hear about him like for the rest of the season. Like, it's just like nothing bad comes out. It's just play some hockey,
Yeah.
and that's it.
For his sake and for the Oilers' sake, I really hope he can put up some points and get this team in the playoffs. This team needs to be in the playoffs. We need Connor McDavid in the playoffs.
I mean, he's in game-ready shape, though, right?
He scored a goal in his first game, but he didn't
That was
score.
like a long time ago, though.
They've only played 2 games so
I
far.
forgot. It was like 5 days in between each hockey game now because of COVID.
Yeah, it's starting to ramp up again, though, because Canada finally figured their stuff out with COVID regulations.
Go Canada.
Yeah, I just saw the NHL and NHLPA agreed on new COVID regulations.
Yeah, so they're not testing. They're only testing if you have symptoms now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's good.
I mean,
Maybe.
Hoping to avoid cancellations.
yeah.
It worked for the NFL, right?
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything about COVID
Yep.
in the NFL since they stopped testing.
It's crazy how that works.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. So in other news, Drake Batherson of the Ottawa Senators, he was injured playing against Buffalo.
Did you say Drake Batherson?
Yeah.
That's an excellent name. I love it.
He suffered a high ankle sprain after he was tripped by a... So the goalie picked up the puck behind the net, right? He was leaving it there for his defenseman to come behind the net to pick it up. So as he's going back into the crease, he's kind of sticking his leg out, trips Drake Batherson. He flies into the boards,
Ooh.
sprains his ankle.
His ankle?
Yeah. Because he kind of went in feet first, and I think his blade caught a bit of the boards. And,
Oh, see, when you said it like this, right? I see the goalie kind of skating around nice and leisurely, right? Like
Yeah.
a goalie does, because they don't care.
Yeah.
That's how they let lots of goals in the playoffs. Nice and leisurely, and this dude is like, I'm gonna get this puck and score a nice little wraparound goal, right?
Yeah.
So he's like skating his little legs off, you know?
Yeah.
And he's going super fast, and he doesn't see this goalie's leg, right? And he goes face first into the board,
Yeah.
which is what I was picturing. And then he sprains an ankle.
Yeah, it was definitely a weird. Again, it just sucks when a player trips going full speed and like that, because he was just trying to forecheck, get that puck. And for Arundel, he got suspended 3 games because of it.
Was that the goalie?
The goalie, yeah,
What did he do wrong?
he tripped the player.
On purpose?
That's what it looked like. So
That's not okay. You can't be doing that.
so like this led to a discussion where should goalies be allowed to be hit if they are outside their crease?
Yes. Yes, they should.
Yeah, a lot of people say that, but I'm actually on the other end of this argument. I think they should stay how it is, and goalies shouldn't be hit.
Look, man. All I'm saying is,
A goalie would never leave the crease again.
right?
Yeah,
If they leave for half a second,
yeah.
some guys just
Because
come
now
swooping
now
in.
that
Yeah.
players have full ability to hit a goalie,
No,
they're just going to leave a huge target on their backs.
You
and they won't
should-
be able to play the puck anymore.
You shouldn't hit a goalie. They shouldn't.
Yeah.
But think about it, right?
Oh, it's hilarious. But
Go out and you go get. Goalies are always the big ones, right? They're the big dudes.
They're tall, yeah.
They're tall. Now you get a tall guy that's built.
Robin Leonard.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Imagine. Well, first of all,
He's the only goalie that wouldn't get killed.
First of all, if a goalie can get hit, the goalies are allowed to hit back. Okay?
Jeremy, you're just pitching MMA on ice.
And does that not sound like an
It
excellent
sounds like
idea
a
to you?
very entertaining idea, but I don't know if the Players Association has other ideas on
All I'm saying is, if the players can hit the goalie can hit the players if he's out of the crease. So,
Yeah.
you go get a nice big bruiser goalie, right? You put him on a team,
It's a new breed of goalie.
right?
Yeah.
Doesn't even have to be good at covering the goal. He just goes and charges at people, right? He's in those big goalie pads.
Yeah.
Man's is coming at him full speed. He's a big old freight train.
Yeah. You know those videos where somebody's on a breakaway and the goalie just dives and just trips the player?
Yeah, what are you gonna do about it?
Yeah. I feel that's gonna be the new wave.
I've completely lost track of where we were.
My point being,
I don't want to hear your point.
I think we've heard it.
I already
My
understand
point
it.
is that the goalie's the most valuable player on the team.
he could be more valuable.
But if the goalie's allowed to get hit, you're just setting them up for injury, and that's just a bad idea waiting to happen. Because if you touch a goalie, chaos is going to ensue.
Stop shaking your head. No.
Don't you want chaos on the ice?
No, because then nothing will get done. It's called hockey, not MMA.
The players will learn. They won't hit the goalie. They're too scared of the goalie hitting them back.
It does create for nice theatrics, though.
It sure does. Honestly, think about it. Think about it and tell me that I'm wrong, because I'm not wrong.
About what?
About it being an excellent idea.
It's entertaining.
Yes, that's the whole...
I don't even think it's entertaining.
Hockey is trying to grow its brand, right? That's the whole thing.
No, it's just, picturing a goalie just deck somebody, that's funny to me.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. But it's just, in a game situation, and players caring about their safety and all.
They wouldn't go near that goalie.
Yeah.
So what I'm hearing is we need to invest in an XHL.
Someone called Dwayne The Rock Johnson. We got a new idea for him.
It's hockey, but the goalies can fight.
They can go anywhere they want.
Yeah.
Look,
it's just
hockey's trying to grow its brand, right?
Yeah.
Right? I don't see a better way than absolute chaos to grow the brand.
I can think of a few better ways.
And what's that?
Not that.
You give me a better idea than...
Actually, marketing your players?
Well, that's something they've failed to do for about 50 years now, so they need a better idea.
Yeah. Because, like I was saying, Troy Terry, he had an interview with Spit and Chicklets today, the biggest hockey podcast in the world. And it was a funny interview. Troy Terry actually had some funny stories, going through his career, and, that's the best the NHL has done for marketing its players. It's a complete independent barstool podcast. They need more stuff like that instead of whatever they're doing now.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, mic'd up content and stuff like that is the key to growing these kind of sports.
And also goalie fights.
No, not goalie fights. Can only the goalies hit each other?
That's an idea.
Instead of a shootout.
That's an idea.
It's a sumo wrestling match.
That's an idea. That's an idea, right? Okay, I'm seeing it, Haden, right?
Okay.
Right? You get through overtime, right? The players set up a human ring, right? Around the center circle. You know how they have the circle in the center?
Mm-hmm.
The players, they make a little ring, right? Everyone's still on skates. You get your two goalies in there. It doesn't have to be your starter. It could be your backup goalie.
Battle to the death.
No, not to the death.
To the death.
Okay, to the death. Not to the death, though. Right? They get out there. They do their whole thing, right? Just have
Whoever
a nice
gets
little
pushed
goalie
outside
fight.
the circle.
Or until they get knocked to the ground.
Okay, so back to regular hockey news.
I just don't know how to follow that up. So, Jordan Greenway, he signs a 3-year, $9 million extension for the
Who is
Minnesota
Jordan
Wild.
Greenway, and what does he do?
He's a winger for the Minnesota Wild. He's part of the Grief line.
The Grief line?
Yeah.
Do they fight goalies?
No, but they do. They're a big line, and they hit. They're really good defensively. They have not let up a 5-on-5 goal this season yet when that line is on the ice.
Okay, then.
So the Wild is in a bad cap situation since they bought out 2 huge contracts. And this is a very team-friendly deal, and being a part of that line really helps. They can just go against other teams' top lines and absolutely wreck it. And I like this deal. If they can keep this Grief line together, one of the best lines in hockey, probably one of the most underrated lines in hockey, I think they can do well. And it's just the Wild are going to have to make a move for one of their other bigger contracts for next season because Kevin Fiala is looking for a pay raise. Another extension, Jeff Carter. He gets a 2-year, $33.1 million per year extension. I don't know why Pittsburgh paid this man this much. Jeff Carter's 37 years old. And, he's having a good season this year.
In his prime.
In his prime.
But he's 37 years old.
In his prime.
In his prime.
So it's just, on a cap-strapped team like Pittsburgh, you want to, for a veteran player can drop off at any moment. And it's just, you could allocate that $3 million, I feel better elsewhere.
Well, I'm sure they have like team options built in that contract.
Like, I'm not too familiar, but that's just what I'm thinking, and it's just I don't like that idea for them. It's just
Well, what you said
gotta
it
find
was
someone
3 years?
2 years.
2 years. Okay. So what?
So you're signing somebody who's going to be 38 and 39 for the next 2 seasons.
You know who else is 38 and 39?
Who?
Alex Ovechkin.
He's 36.
He's almost 38 and 39.
But you can't compare the greatest goal scorer of all time to Jeff Carter.
I can and I did.
I'm right here.
He's a solid player, but I just don't understand. I don't like the move. We'll see what happens. Pittsburgh always finds a way to make these work, but we'll see what happens with that.
Trust the process, right? Wrong sport.
Yeah.
Right city, though.
Trust
No,
the
wrong
process.
city. I was wrong. That was the wrong city. It's right state, though.
Last thing I have to mention is the All-Star Game's going to be this week.
It is.
They have some new events. They have a Las Vegas fountain target shooting competition. So it looks like they built this platform in the middle of the fountain, Las Vegas, and the players are going to shoot into targets, and again, whoever gets the most points wins. And they also have a blackjack competition.
Like the card game?
Yeah.
Are they on the ice?
Yes.
Do they have to skate to the cards?
No.
There's a table on the ice.
It's pretty much like a giant screen, or like they're pretty much shooting at targets again. And you have to like aim to get the closest to 21. Or like,
So it's a counting game. I'm assuming. I'm gonna assume.
So they're gonna shoot at like this giant board that has like cards all over it.
Right. I'm gonna assume they see the cards they're shooting at.
Yes.
So
I'm like both intrigued, but I also think this might be awful.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. This is literally just a children's game. This is like you know those video games where they're teaching kids how to count, how to do math. It's just that.
But with hockey sticks and you're shooting at it.
Yeah. So it's just like, I guess we'll see what happens, but it's just, it's kind of fun because it's a Vegas-themed All-Star thing, but I just don't know how it's going to turn out. It could be very cringy like other All-Star games have been.
Well, the games are always...
Or skills competition, I mean.
Skills competitions are fun.
Yeah.
They're always fun.
And this is supposed to be. And they also brought back the Breakaway Competition.
What was that one?
Where it's pretty much... players are like very creative when they do the breakouts. Like sometimes they wear costumes, or like sometimes they come out with. I know Brent Burns. He's like known to like he just has this incredibly long beard, and he like went out with a Chewbacca costume on. Or like sometimes like they have their kids brought out to go against it, and it's like a bunch of stuff like that.
Do a breakaway against
their
kids.
But what are they doing? Are they just skating down the ice in costumes?
Occasionally. It's like there's sometimes the players just do antics and stuff like that.
But they're just skating down the ice.
And like yes,
it's like a fashion show.
Sure, if that's what you want to make it, Jeremy.
Well, I don't know what it is. I'm trying to understand what it is.
It's just like a breakaway competition.
So it's like a breakaway.
It's like a shootout.
Simulating.
Okay.
It's pretty much just a shootout, but like it's the All-Star game, so it's like the players can like.
How do they win?
By winning the shootout.
Score more goals than the other team.
Oh, there's a goalie. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what a shootout is, right?
Yes, I know what a shootout is. The way you made it sound was they get dressed up in costumes and their children come with them.
I thought you knew what a breakaway competition was.
I didn't. That's why I was asking.
All right.
You see, baseball only has one competition, and it's just whoever can hit the most home runs in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, it's gonna have fastest skater, hardest shot, most accurate shooter competition, like all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Those sound fun.
Yeah.
Those do sound fun.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for hockey news.
That's all you have for hockey news?
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of did spend like half the segment.
We talked about the Zegras
goalies.
goal. We talked about Lundqvist, and we had the goalie discussion. So
we kind of combined segments there. We took away you took away half of his material, Jeremy.
Half of his material by talking about
I was
going
to talk about it eventually, so it's a good thing we brought it up sooner.
Oh wow!
On the Zegras goal too.
We have some breaking news from 20 minutes ago.
What's up?
Brian Flores is suing the NFL, the Dolphins, the Giants, and the Broncos for racism in hiring processes.
Oh.
Okay then. I wasn't gonna... Brian
What?
Flores?
That's the coach.
So he's accusing all those
former?
teams for a racist hiring process?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man.
He was on the Dolphins. They fired him.
Oh, this is the one that didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he was 7 and... He was, 1 and 7.
He had a bad start, and then he was
almost
great.
made playoffs, yeah.
I really wanted
He had
the
a good
Giants to
season
hire
before.
this dude, and they didn't, and now he's suing them. That's... Huh.
I think it's more on the... I don't know. Yeah.
That'll be an interesting thing to follow.
That'll be interesting, yeah.
It went from you want the Giants to hire him to...
I
Giants.
still want the Giants to hire him.
It just looks like he doesn't want to be hired by the Giants, though.
I mean, yeah, I guess not. 58
I mean, it looked like he did, and then...
Yeah, he's...
He says the Dolphins owner wanted him to tank on purpose, purposely lose games. They offered him a $100,000 bonus for every game that they lost. The Dolphins did. And when they
Nice.
ended up winning games, they were mad at him.
Just sounds like bad ownership.
Yeah, that's the Dolphins.
But he accused other teams, didn't he?
Yeah, I'm just reading. Because he alleged the Giants, who interviewed him last month, for interviewing him for no reason other than the Rooney Rule. Which, if you guys don't know what that is, that basically says you have to interview coaches of minority coaches. At least you have to interview them. You have to interview a minimum of at least one when you're looking for people. He said the Giants didn't ever want to hire him. They just did it so they could meet their quota.
Wow. That is quite the accusation.
Well,
it's not like he's, a box to check off for diversity. He's actually one of the best coaches available on the market right now.
Oh, yeah. Which is why, it makes no sense.
Yeah. Like, if the Vikings hired him today, I'd be like, let's go. And, speaking of diversity, we just hired the first black general manager. So it's like, if he wants to come play for the Vikings, we're all about diversity, I think. I don't think there's any... I don't know. He hasn't accused us of racism yet.
Looks like Jeremy's reading the article.
Yeah.
I am, yeah.
Yeah. Is there anything else with that, or do you want to quick go to NBA and we can pivot back to...
Yeah, well, can you cover the NBA?
Yeah, because I had more than you had anyways.
Yeah, go for it. Quick, we're about to reach the top of the hour.
Oh, true.
Before we do, station identification, you are listening to the Triple Threat Show on WXJM 88.7 FM Harrisonburg and WXJM.org. This is the Triple Threat Show, hosted by me, Jeremy, my two friends and co-hosts,
Shane,
and
Haden.
Hayden, take away the NBA. I'm gonna read more about this.
All right, Shane.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lock eyes with you this entire time. It's gonna be really uncomfortable for both of us.
let's go.
Okay, so they announced the All-Star starters for the NBA. A lot of it's people who've already been All-Star starters. I mean, great players. You have
kind of the exact opposite of the NHL, because NHL's like a whole bunch of new people this year.
Well, there's two new people.
Yeah.
There were Andrew Wiggins with the Golden State Warriors, right, Jeremy?
Yeah, he was the guy I was most surprised about.
He had a breakout year. I mean, he's been good, but
Yeah.
his shooting percentages have gone way up, and he's improved on his defense this year. And so that's kind of why you can understand why. And the Warriors have been great this year, especially with Curry being amazing, being in the MVP conversation for most of the season. And then, one of my favorite players, Moran, with the Grizzlies, was named to the...
Isn't that the team you're really high on?
Yeah, and he's been the big part of that. He's been absolutely insane, one of the best players in the league. And that's kind of those were the two new people. I mean, Morant wasn't really a surprise because, I saw a headline today where it was every time people are just surprised about the things that he just does on the court because he's just that good. But that was the big All-Stars thing. There's reserves voting, so the full roster will come out.
Yeah.
Probably next show. Another thing was the trade deadline is a little over a week away. And so we might finally see Ben Simmons. Remember Ben Simmons?
Yeah.
We might finally
I wonder
see...
what happened to that guy.
Might finally be on a new team. Hopefully. Jeremy's shaking his head no.
Oh, no, I'm just reading
Okay,
quickly.
she's shaking his head at
Probably
that.
something about the Giants.
I mean, I don't know. That's a whole lot to deal with. But really good player. So hopefully he gets moved and can get out of a situation
Philadelphia, right?
He clearly does. Yeah. Clearly doesn't want to be there.
I mean, I understand it's Philadelphia.
Sorry.
They had an all-star starter.
Joel Embiid, he's having an incredible season. Yeah. The reserves for the All-Star, that comes out
Yeah, we already.
2 days, did you?
Yeah, you missed all of it.
I
Already completely
Well,
talked about it.
the
I was just talking about how
favorites
Ben
for
Simmons might
place.
finally get moved because the trade deadline's coming up.
Right.
And
Sorry.
then my last thing was the Jazz lost, what was it, Joe Ingles?
Joe Ingles.
Ingles, my bad. For the rest of the season, tore his ACL.
Oof.
And he's
That's what it was.
not like a top scorer for anything, but he's like a great role player, one of the best in the league. And I think it was the article I read, he was quoted as like the heart and soul of that team. And for like a team that's, on the brink of contention, to lose a player like that, it's kind of a big deal. So it'd be interesting to see what direction they go here with the trade deadline coming up. What kind of moves they make if they like, okay, yeah, I know we're going to sell off. Like, that's just a crucial part of our team. Or if they're going to buy and try to replace a great player like that.
Did you cover the Kobe?
Kobe? No, I didn't see anything Kobe.
So obviously, Kobe and his daughter died tragically in a helicopter accident 2 years ago. That was earlier this week. This is 2-year anniversary. But they are building a statue of him and his daughter at the site of the crash. So it's a nice little thing for someone who was taken too soon.
Many people were taken too soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the NBA.
What else did you cover? You got the Ingles and the All-Star roster. What else do you have there?
And then I just talked about the deadline and how Ben Simmons might get moved. So
All right.
that was like the big news.
Yes, that was the big news. All right. Thank you, Haden, for doing that.
Of course.
I'm going to tell you what I learned in the article.
Okay.
Okay. So, we covered the Dolphins, right?
Yeah.
The Dolphins basically said, we're firing you in an impromptu meeting at a marina. They said he was treated with disdain, and they said he was hard to work with, which, The Giants, when they hired their new coach, Brian Dable, they claimed it was between him and Brian Flores, but they wanted Dable.
Who's Dable?
He's the Bills' offensive coordinator. Or was.
Okay, yeah.
But his former, you guys know, Bill Belichick, who Flores worked under for 10 years, texted him. He said that, quote, Buffalo and New York Giants, he had heard from Buffalo and New York Giants that you are their guy. Flores then asked clarification if he meant him or Dable, and Belichick was like, oh, shoot, I effed up. This was supposed to go to Brian Dable.
Get baited.
Yeah.
That's the worst wrong text message, whatever it was, that's bad.
Yeah. So he claimed that a similar scenario happened in 2019 when he was going for the Broncos job. And he says that John Elway and a bunch of other front office people arrived to the interview late, clearly hungover because they were drinking a bunch, and they just never were going to hire him.
Mm-hmm.
He named 5 areas he'd like to see addressed. They are an increase in influence of black individuals in hiring, an increase in the objectivity of hiring/terminating GMs, head coaches, and coordinators, an increase in the number of black coordinators, incentivizing hiring/retention of black GMs, head coaches, and coordinators, and transparency of pay for GMs, head coaches, and coordinators. He's saying that he's basically being locked out through racist practices in the NFL. This is obviously a massive lawsuit.
Mm-hmm.
They have a rule set in place to do this, but it's kind of just I mentioned it earlier in the article, the Rooney Rule.
Mm-hmm.
It's there so teams have to interview. It's like a necessity. So a lot of teams just choose someone as their guy to interview, so they follow the rule,
Yeah.
Which is kind of demeaning a little bit.
Yeah, because that's...
Like, I don't know. Like, I understand getting someone in the room and giving them a chance to interview gives them a better chance than if you just don't interview them. But if you're going in there with the mindset of, I'm doing this just so I can tick off a box, and there's no way on earth I'm going to actually hire this guy, that feels more demeaning than not even being asked to interview. I don't know. Maybe I'm in the wrong about that.
It's the whole issue with how you implement diversity somewhere. It's like you don't want to be at a position just because you happen to be of a certain color, because they need, you don't want to go just because, oh, you're this race, so you can get. You want to be qualified to be in there.
And he is qualified.
Yeah, he's absolutely is. But like, I know that's a discussion I've had, with people have with some of these diversity things. Like, you don't want to. It's kind of a tricky thing when you want to make a requirement, like a person of race has to be considered, just because then there's the whole qualification thing. But the problem is it's harder. You want to base it completely off qualifications.
Yeah.
But I understand why it's there, because it gives people a better opportunity instead of, racist practices. But there's always a caveat to things.
Yeah. It's obvious an issue.
Yeah.
You saw this with the whole Colin Kaepernick kneeling issue, right? It's not out of the league.
Yeah.
It's never going to be out of it when you have 31 rich white billionaires,
Who is that head coach?
Shad Khan is in Jacksonville.
Who was the Oakland head coach?
Who
got fired?
John Gruden.
Yeah, because he got fired for there was racist emails on his thing. So
right,
it's clearly not an issue it's not going to be over anytime soon.
Widespread league-wide issue.
Right. It's the old rich white guys,
Yeah.
It's
Boys
not
club.
Yeah. They're not going to change because they don't have to. Right? They're billionaires.
Yeah.
They got their blood money, however they got there, right? I don't know. You don't get that much money just like that,
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's not all of them, but it's not just a small handful, Hopefully this inspires change in the NFL, and hopefully in other leagues too,
Yeah.
Hopefully this
Definitely got that publicity out there.
this is
gonna be huge.
It's massive. It's
How many teams did he accuse?
He sued 3 teams and the NFL. So he sued the Dolphins, the Broncos, and the Giants, but he also just sued the NFL in general.
Yeah.
So he named 4 parties. So I don't know.
Wow, that blew up.
Yeah, that's.
We went from I really want this guy on my team.
I still really want him on my team. I don't care.
Same here, but it's just. Wow, I did not see this. Wow, what a big development.
Wow, it's shocking. It's a big step. Less important lawsuits.
There's more?
Yeah, less important lawsuits. Antonio Brown suing the Bucks.
There's.
He just wants them to pay him money for mental and physical health compensation, whatever. I don't know.
It's kind of hard to follow the first one up with Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I know.
It's Antonio Brown. We have actual issues to deal with here.
I'm still kind of processing this whole story right now, but
yeah,
that is. It's a lot less important.
It's
200,000.
what he's saying took place.
It didn't.
Okay.
Bruce Arians and the coaching staff over there wouldn't do that to a player. They're very well respected and very well liked around the entire NFL community.
Mm-hmm. And if you have a history like Antonio Brown has, it's kind of hard to take him seriously.
I don't see.
You don't see other players.
Maybe some of it is true, but I am fairly certain that it's exaggerated at best for him, Maybe he did say either get on the field or get to the locker room, But I'm sure he didn't literally mean. I don't know. I'm not trying to put words in people's mouths.
Yeah. And if...
But just off reputation alone, you know?
And if what he said is actually true, you'd be surprised to see if more players would vouch for him. But I think Antonio Brown has kind of burned every bridge he's crossed so far.
Yeah.
Like, Tom Brady was the only reason why he got a job for New England and Tampa Bay. And now that it sounds like he's ruined that relation with him. So, like, he has no other allies now.
Well, I mean, it doesn't even matter if he has a relationship with Brady anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't even matter. And that's because Tom Brady retired officially today, unofficially on Saturday.
He retired, and then he unretired for, 15 minutes later, and then...
Yeah, he retired. Adam Schefter broke the news he was retiring on Saturday, and then a couple days later, or later that day, he was like, actually, I'm not retired. I never told anyone that. And then earlier today, actually, he officially announced that he retired. We talked about it last show. We did not think he was going to retire. It was a very, very sound no from everyone in this room.
We were like, retirement? Yeah, that's not going to happen. And then it happens.
But, everyone now is spending time reflecting on his incredible, incredible career. Clearly cemented as the greatest quarterback to ever play the game of football. He is the leader in career passing yards, touchdowns.
Yeah.
I don't know what else, but at least those two. And
playoff, pretty much all the playoff
Super
records.
Bowls.
Yeah.
Super Bowl MVPs, Super Bowl appearances, Super Bowl wins, all of it. He has more Super Bowl wins than every single team. Not combined, but Tom Brady has 7, the Steelers and the Patriots have 6. So, I mean, that's crazy. This year, he led the league in both touchdowns and passing yards. So he clearly wasn't done.
But as an athlete, you want to retire in your own terms. You don't want to have someone else tell you when you're done.
He had said he didn't want to retire until he felt his skills were diminishing.
Yeah.
Which clearly they're not.
Yeah.
His final game, he almost engineered an incredible comeback against the Rams. So, hats off to him. He deserves all the praise, all the love. And I'm glad the NFL community appreciates him.
Yeah.
There was all that faux Tom Brady hate, but you gotta appreciate...
I don't hate Tom Brady, I hate his fans.
Right. There was a lot of Tom Brady hate, but it was kind of just hate how
good he is and how much...
he is, right, and...
people won't shut up about him.
Right, but I wouldn't go that far, but... It was more just how good he is, how successful he is, how he just took success from everyone else in the league and was like, it's mine now.
Yeah.
But it's everyone, every fan base I've seen is appreciating his success.
Yeah.
The teams he beat up on the most, the Jets were like, he put a tweet out today. They said, "Is it for real this time?"
Is the boogeyman finally gone?
Yeah, and then they clarified underneath it, but for real, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, blah blah blah, all that stuff. Greatest to ever do it. And he really is.
He's the greatest of all time.
Yeah, he's getting all the respect he deserves, and it's good to see it.
In my mind, he is the equivalent to Gretzky and Michael Jordan.
Oh, he's better than
sport.
them. Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're the GOAT in the sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone has the top of the mountain.
Yeah, he is that peak.
Yeah. So we're not ever going to see another talent like him.
Yeah.
That's once in a lifetime.
Phenomenal
Not even in a
too.
lifetime. That's No.
6th round pick.
No, Haden. No.
Yeah.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No. You are not Tom Brady.
Well, obviously, I'm Haden.
Just think, 6th round pick.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's an
No
awesome...
one expected anything from him. And then he becomes the greatest quarterback, greatest football player ever.
Could have been a national.
I don't think he could have been a national.
He was drafted by the Expos.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think you made the right decision.
That'll be a fun,
Congrats
alternate
to-
universe.
That would be insane.
Congrats to him and good luck on retirement.
Yes. That basically that him retiring, and also Big Ben, he also retired this week.
Another phenomenal quarterback,
he's
first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yeah, he's top 5, 6, or 7 in the quarterback stats. That being yards, touchdowns, and I don't remember. I think it's completions. Whatever. Maybe wins. I don't remember. Whatever. There's three quarterback stats, you know.
Yeah.
He's top 10 in all of them. So he when he retires and Tom Brady was the last one, that's the end of an era right there.
Yeah.
That's the Manning Brady era right
Yeah.
there. The Mannings, the 04 draft class, Tom Brady. They left the NFL in good hands.
Man, it's been a good run.
Lots of young quarterbacks now. They're taking over the league. But with them retired, that era of quarterback play is done, and we can look back on it. That was, as of right now, the greatest, by far, the greatest era of quarterbacking in NFL history. I mean, you get guys like Haden and Tom, and
Yeah.
I'm going to put Eli in there selfishly, but you get Phillip Rivers, Big Ben, these guys that were immensely successful in their careers.
I'm completely blanking on Saints.
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees, yeah. Drew Brees.
Phenomenal
Phenomenal career for him too, yeah.
Right.
It's just
I mean, all these
quarterbacks.
guys, they're end of an era,
Phillip Rivers too. So many guys.
Hopefully it looks like we're in good hands. We got, we got Mahomes, we got Herbert,
Allen.
we got Allen, we got Lamar.
We have Joe Burrow.
Got Joe.
Oh, I can't say that. Burrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Left the NFL in really good hands. Speaking of those young quarterbacks, oh boy, do we have one in the Super Bowl. I have an official announcement for everyone. We have a Super Bowl matchup.
Wow, really?
We have a Super Bowl matchup. I'm very excited about this. We kind of touched on it a little bit in the Favorite Things segment. The Super Bowl matchup this year is the Los Angeles Rams. That's a normal check so far, right?
Yeah.
That's what I had in mind. Followed up by the Cincinnati Bengals. Nope, that one's kind of an outlier right
it's
there.
It's still weird to me. Just because, growing up, the Cincinnati Bengals were always that they choked. They just could never win a playoff game, and then they proceeded to be the worst team in the league. And that's what I grew up around. And now all of a sudden, they're almost at a Super Bowl.
They're in a Super Bowl.
They're in a Super Bowl. It's just weird for me. It's just like for the past 30 years, they've haven't been a successful franchise in terms of playoff wins, and now they're at a Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, it's an incredible story. We were talking about it last week. They are the team of destiny.
Yeah.
Excuse me. They are the team of destiny, right? You have the personalities on that team. They love each other. Clearly, they get along so well.
Yeah.
Um,
Does Coach of the Year include playoffs?
No.
All right. Yeah.
That'd be unfair.
Yeah. Because it would be easily who's the head coach?
Zach Taylor?
It'd easily be Zach Taylor if playoffs are included now.
Yes. No, it'd be unfair because, what would happen if, what's his name, had a chance to be in the playoffs,
Yeah.
What if the Dolphins made the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
And Brian Flores had a chance to do his thing in the playoffs, right?
Yeah.
I mean, if the Dolphins make the playoffs and they go anywhere, I think he's Coach of the Year, right?
Yeah, if they made playoffs, he would definitely be Coach of the Year.
He almost turned around that team.
Yeah.
I think he still has a shot.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding. I think he still has a really good shot of being Coach of the Year, and he got fired. And then he sued the NFL.
But anyway, Joe Burrow.
Yes. Super Bowl preview. Sorry.
They beat Kansas City. Really shocking.
It was an incredible game.
Yeah.
It was tied the largest comeback in AFC Championship history. with the man who just retired, Thomas Edward Brady. When he came back in the AFC Championship game a long time ago. I don't remember which one, but 18-point deficit, came back from that. You got to give a lot of props to the Bengals defense.
Yes.
You see that defensive line. They are just eating. They are absolutely eating.
They were well prepared to handle the explosive offense of Kansas City.
I mean, yeah.
I'm surprised. What?
Sorry, go ahead.
You sounded like you disagreed with something.
No, they did a really good job against Kansas City. What were you saying?
I was just this. It's all into coaching too. Like, they were prepared to face that offense.
Right.
Because Kansas City has been known. They've smoked teams in the past, but they just couldn't overcome the Bengals. And then you could see the momentum the team had. It's just they looked like the better team. You could just feel that they were going to win. And Kansas City just looked so dejected that they couldn't do anything to stop it.
Well, they didn't look like the better team in the first half.
Oh, in the first half, no, not at all.
That's why they had to come. What happened was,
I only saw the second half.
Okay, well that'll do it.
Yeah, so it's just like they were a completely different team.
So what happened in that game was, the Chiefs were at the goal line with like 5 seconds to go. They were at the 1 yard line at the 5 seconds to go in the first half. Instead of taking the field goal, they decided to go and try to go up 28-3.
Yeah.
Or 28-10, 28-3, whatever. They do a little screen pass to Tyreek Hill, and he gets stopped. End of the half. That is where the momentum shifted. If they take a field goal there, I think the Chiefs win that game. It's just decisions like that, They were hot. They were at the 1. They thought they could get it,
Yeah.
And I don't blame them. Honestly, I probably would have done the same thing there. I wouldn't have done the play. I would have thrown a quick little. They had 5 seconds, so you had time to do a quick throw to the end zone, and if not, bring the field goal unit out there. But I would have given it one more shot.
Yeah.
It's just, and the Chiefs had a chance to win the game in regulation, but they had a minute and 30. It was 1st and goal, but they decided to run instead of trying to score. They decided to run out the clock as best as they could. And that ended up backfiring so horrifically that they almost fumbled the game away, actually. Still went to overtime. But, just a few goal line mismanaged situations by the Chiefs was the difference between them in the Super Bowl for the 3rd year in a row and them not in the Super Bowl.
And then throwing a pick in overtime doesn't help either.
No, but that was really good defense.
Yeah.
A
lucky bounce, too.
You saw. You were watching, right?
Yeah.
You saw his hand just like, boop, poke it out right there.
Yeah.
It was really good defense. So, I love this Bengals team.
Oh yeah.
I also love this Rams team. But, we have a Super Bowl 2 weeks from now. Early predictions. They both seem like they're not going to have their tight end. So that'll be interesting. But Super Bowl predictions. Give me the score, too. What do you got, Shane?
I think the Bengals are the team of destiny. I think it's going to be 28-21 Bengals.
All right. Haden, what's your win score?
My win score?
Yeah.
Okay.
Haden.
I'm sorry, Joe Burrow. But, I'm going to just do a reverse of Shane's. 28-21. Rams.
All right. No, I think this is going to be a good game. I have it a little higher scoring than you guys. Not by much. I say the final score is going to be 24-31 Rams. I just think that... Bengals are the team of destiny.
Yeah.
Rams.
No,
Rams.
Well, you also said you had them as your winner.
I didn't. I had them losing to the Chiefs.
Oh, okay.
Well, the Bengals beat the Chiefs.
They beat them twice.
Yeah.
In my head is telling me it's going to be the Rams. But in my heart is telling me the Cincinnati Bengals are going to find some way to pull this off.
The Rams win this game by 7 if they win. The Bengals, on the other hand, they win this game by 3.
Yeah.
If they win.
Because that's my gut feeling is it's either going to be a blowout by the Rams.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout.
Or it's going to be
that would be really funny.
Or it's going to be a close game and Cincinnati's going to win.
Just 54-0.
I don't think it's going to be a blowout either way.
Yeah.
Because both of these defenses are insane.
Yeah.
But I think just the offensive weapons compared to I think the secondary that the Bengals have isn't strong enough to cover the offensive weapons that. I mean, they're starting Eli Apple.
Yeah. He's
bad at football.
But he's gotten this far.
I don't like him.
But he's in a Super Bowl.
I don't care. He's not good at football. Anyway, we'll cover the coach hirings next week because it's the Pro Bowl. There's not going to be as much. We'll dive more in depth into the stuff we didn't have time to. But I'd like to move on to one of my favorite segments, arguably my favorite segment of the week, Hayden's Question of the Week. Hayden, what do you have for us?
All right, guys. I had 2 ones coming into this, but I've decided, nice and easy, if you could go to any planet, what would you go to? Earth isn't an option.
Earth isn't an option.
Obviously.
All right, Shane, planet and why?
Yeah, thank you.
I'm just going to go through my thought process. Like, Neptune was my favorite planet as a kid just because my favorite color was blue, and Neptune, god of the ocean, I thought that was kind of cool.
All right.
But I feel like more realistically, Mars would be just more practical. Because there's actually, you can land on it. There's resources there. And it's just, I think the future is going to be colonizing it, and then Neptune's just gas.
He wants to colonize Mars, is what I've learned.
Colonizing Mars sounds cool, so I feel like Mars is the better answer.
I have a question for you, Hayden.
Okay.
Does Pluto count as a planet?
No.
No?
No.
It's
what
a
if I went
dwarf planet? It's not a real planet.
I'm pretty sure they changed it again.
No, they didn't.
What if I went over to Pluto, right? And I just brought a bunch of rocks.
Okay, now.
Right? I brought a bunch of rocks with me.
Counterpoint. You go to Neptune and you just vacation in Pluto.
No, but I want to make Pluto a planet is my thing.
Oh, okay.
Right, I just want to bring a bunch of rocks with me and kind of like hammer them into Pluto.
Okay.
Right?
You don't really need to hammer them. You can just let gravity do it for you.
No, they need to be big rocks.
Well, yeah.
And if I'm on the planet, they can't collide because that wouldn't be good for me.
Why can't you just get a space shuttle to drag like a rock and then...
You're just going to go to the asteroid belt and just go back and forth.
Yeah. No, it's going to be a bit of a process, right? But I'm going to take an asteroid with me, right?
Uh-huh.
Like a big one, right?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to hammer it into Pluto. Just one nail at a time. They're going to be really, really long nails. But I'm a hammer them into Pluto until scientists are like, oh my god.
The point of asteroids is that they're meant to, they can fuse that way.
No.
Yeah.
No.
That's how the Earth.
I'm going to Pluto and I'm making it a planet.
Okay.
Yeah, he's hammering it in.
What about you, Hayden?
I'm going to go to Jupiter to get more stupider.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
You're already there.
Got me there. I mean, I think it would be really interesting.
Yeah, it's got that giant storm.
Yeah, I got to see the rings.
Yeah.
From Saturn. That's like my view.
Oh.
I don't think that's how planets work.
Oh, I already read it. Never mind.
Right.
It was the developing story news from Flores, but it's just for people that didn't read the article, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it was about the $100,000 bonus per game that they lost.
And it's the biggest gravitational force of all the planets just because it's the largest and all that.
He's a big boy.
It is a big boy.
And I got stupider.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where would you land on Jupiter?
It's got that big spot.
It's got that big red spot?
Yeah.
The one with all the wind?
I feel like that would be a bad place to land.
See, that's yeah. Yeah,
we're going to go right next to it.
Right next to it. Right.
That'll be my backyard.
Right, the calm before the storm.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right?
Yeah.
That's my backyard. Hopefully it doesn't grow, because that would be...
That'd be unfortunate.
The value of my home. Way down.
Right, that home on Jupiter.
Mm-hmm.
The home on Jupiter.
How much do you think a home on Jupiter would sell for?
Well, you see, you'd have to...
If the gravitational force doesn't kill you.
Look, man, all I'm saying is I bet you a house on Jupiter...
I mean, he's not going to a real planet. Gravity doesn't matter at this point, okay?
Alright, gotcha.
He's going to nail asteroids
together.
It's gonna be great. You don't even understand. I'm
gonna Utopia
yeah.
on Pluto.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna bring the sun with me too.
I'm sure that'll go over great, Jeremy.
It will. Everyone will love me. But with that said, that's all the time we have for this week. Thank you for joining us on the Triple Threat Show on WXJM 88.7 FM Harrisonburg, Virginia, and WXJM.org. I have been Jeremy, joined as always by my two friends and co-hosts,
Shane
and
Haden.
Thank you so much for listening. We really appreciate it. Good night.
Yeah.